Welcome back to the 34 Circe Salon. I'm Sean Marlin Newcomb. It's time now for the history of women pirates in China. Let's hear the story of Cheng I Sao, perhaps the greatest pirate of all time. Dawn Sam Alden begins the story.
But I want to talk a little bit about Cheng I Sao
Okay.
because she is considered the most successful pirate in the history of the world.
Wow.
The
Male or
greatest,
female?
male or female, the greatest pirate of all time.
So
At,
let's get her name again.
so Cheng I Sao, so it's Cheng, then just the letter I,
hmm
then Sao,
Wow.
sometimes called Madam Cheng.
Madam Chair.
So at her height, she controlled a fleet of over 2,000 ships and had more than 80,000 men, women, and children pirates. It was a family affair
Wow.
under her command. She was a brilliant military tactician, which was part of why she was able to keep such an enormous group of, misfits, outcasts, and fiery, convention flouting people under her command.
This is great.
She started her life as a prostitute in a brothel.
Uh-huh.
She apparently was quite beautiful as a young woman, and were so enchanted by her. Men were so enchanted by her that she had very little difficulty getting them to do what she wanted. So at the very beginning, there was a pirate. One of the pirates that were nearby heard about her, and essentially sent his men ashore to kidnap her and to bring her to him as bounty, as booty. But when presented with her, he found her to be so beautiful and so brave and so wonderful and so smart, and that he changed his plans from temporary to permanent and married her.
Wow.
So she originally, repulsed his advances, but he basically said, here's my empire. I can return you to prostitution and let you live that life, or you can come and be a pirate with me. And she agreed on the condition that she was an equal partner in the marriage and
Wow.
shared her husband's power. So that was the beginning of her incredible empire.
Where
So
did
she,
it's just she sounds like such an amazing with an
oh
amazing
my
sense
God, yeah.
she is, but you said she had been a prostitute. Do we know anything about her family lineage? Was she someone that was from, let's say, an educated family, then was laid low, or just
No,
beautiful
no, she actually, she sort of came from the Chinese countryside somewhere. She had obscure origins. And the first time she, came to be written about was, when she married this pirate,
enough?
and started to. Now, she may be a woman who was able to control her own narrative because of her immense power.
Okay.
So it's possible that the reason that we don't know her origins is because she doesn't want us to know them.
Yeah. Yeah.
She may
Interesting.
have deliberately kept her origins in obscurity.
For any number of reasons, not
Yeah.
necessarily because they were, questionable or, poorly looked at, but that she could have even come from something that was, esteemed in some way and felt to hide that. So it's just we don't know. It's interesting. I mean,
We
she's
don't
a
know.
fascinating
Yeah.
character.
Yeah. So, same thing. They would take down ships, they would raid coastal towns, and she she was a brilliant tactician. So people started to make deals with her, similar. It's the same story. Pirates, have the pirate playbook and everybody works from it.
Uh-huh.
So, people would pay her protection money to leave them alone. They would also kidnap people and hold them for ransom. Um, and she rose to such power, and she was very generous with her crews. So, they were very faithful to her. And by the time she had hit her height of power, the government actually had to essentially bribe her into retirement.
Wow. Hmm.
Yeah,
Must have been quite a bribe for someone
yeah.
as successful at what she did as she was.
Indeed, indeed. Now, the interesting thing about her is that perhaps, because of her background in the sex trade, or just because she was a powerful woman,
Hmm.
um, she gave her troops, her people, her pirates, um, pretty strict laws to govern their behavior.
Oh,
Any
okay.
Yeah, any pirate who disobeyed a command or issued an unauthorized command lost his or her head. Also beheaded were pirates who stole from the common treasury. So if they took more than their share, they were beheaded. And any male pirates who raped female captives were beheaded.
Ah,
Yeah.
well,
Uh,
that's using your power for.
yep. The first time a pirate went ashore without permission, his or her ears were split. If caught a second time, the penalty was death. She also, other crimes, she would flogging the crew was a very common punishment,
Hmm.
um, or
Probably
clapping
would have
them
been
in irons, or throwing them overboard, or whatever.
with all pirates, I would imagine.
Yep. She herself took part in the raids. She was good with a dagger and a cutlass.
Hmm.
And she was superstitious, as many sailors are. She would pray before every attack. And if there was an omen or a bad sign, she would call off a raid. Um, she often she considered European ships more trouble than they were worth, so she was much more likely to harass Chinese ships,
Hmm.
which is part of the reason why the government was so pressured to essentially pay her off.
To get her to
Um,
stop.
yeah, yeah. So in 1810, Cheng I Sao and several of her female pirate captains um, accepted the government's offer of amnesty and negotiated a deal, um, for for essentially for her retirement. And she did not forget her crew in that she negotiated for their amnesty as well if they wanted to take it, and more than 17,000 of her pirates did so. They were given military jobs and they got to keep their bounty.
That's not. I mean, that's actually amazing. That's amazing.
Isn't that wonderful? I mean, she is so amazing.
That's more than what some of our contemporary leaders do in terms of looking out for
Yeah,
uh, their citizens, their voters. That's a really incredible story.
yeah. And
Um,
she wasn't the only Chinese pirate. I mean, there were quite a few other Chinese pirates. Lai Choi San also made quite a splash in the early 1900s,
mhm.
um, as a pirate.
Thank you for listening to our episode on Cheng I Sao and the Women Pirates of China.